What up, what up, what up, world? Thanks for tuning in to another show of 50 Shades with Jaye. I'm no other than your host, Jaye. Don't forget the E, the show that's funny, entertaining, and sexy. And to my right here, we have the... Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Oh, I was like, are you about to do it? Who's about to do it? Folks, how y'all doing out there? Yeah, you know who it is, and you know why I'm here. Trouble, and you know how it go. Anyway, back to the lady.
Okie dokie, Trouble. So how was your day today?
Long, but yeah, nonetheless, so blessed to be in spite of. But anyway, yeah, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Today was a pretty productive day for the most part. Got my pearlies clean, so that's always good. No cavity still.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah. What?
Congratulations. just something else that was going on like previously, but anyway, carry on.
Okay, yeah, no cavity. So it's Gucci out here, you know what I mean? Gucci. Okay, today, I don't have any fancy topics, but we can always pick through the boxes like we always do. So be my guest / co-host.
So you put me to work today.
Oh yeah, you gonna put the work. Put the work. I'm putting you to work with no pay.
And then you making me choose out of your box.
My bad. You could have picked from any box you wanted to pick from.
You should have picked out of your own box.
Okay, so in the meantime, in between time, he's picking through the boxes. Do not say it out loud when you read it. You gotta always give it to me. So, let's see.
I don't think that's a bad one.
Curvy women versus skinny women in clothing. Yes, I think this is a good one.
Clothing,
in clothing, because I have a lot to say, and maybe you can, piggyback. That's all you always do anyway. So, actually, I'm gonna take this one away and let you go ahead and bounce back. Okay, first and foremost, with that being said, I know I'm a very curvy woman, so it's a lot of things that I cannot wear during the workplace that a skinny girl can wear, and sometimes I do actually feel like it's unfair. Because if I wear it, then it's too revealing. And as well as if you were to go to church. You go to church and you wear like certain clothes and, it's very form-fitting versus a skinny girl where to wear it, you don't really see too much. So it's like it's a hard time for me to pick what I'm wearing to work and church, actually.
Okay.
So what do you have to say about that?
I mean, what exactly are you asking?
Well, because it was a picture posted on Facebook. This woman, she actually had it was a nice dress. It was form-fitted, but she was in church. And like, she was just a really banging, curvy woman. And they were saying, was this inappropriate or was it appropriate?
I think if I had to give you my honest opinion on that particular situation, I get the traditional or the traditions that are in place. I grew up in the church and so on and so forth and so on, and all that good jazz. But I mean, like now's a new day and age, and not even just so much that, like, what people wore back then versus what people wear now is completely different.
Absolutely.
And not even so much that, like, certain things if you can't help it, you just can't help it.
And that's how I feel sometimes. I just can't help it. Even if I wear jogging pants, just going out, they like, ain't no way around it. And right. I feel like people should not judge you based off, well, to a certain extent, because you still have the thoughts out here that be half naked. But in my defense, I feel like you cannot just like the lady in the church, just because she wore that form-fitted dress. That's what she had to wear. You're not gonna buy anything that's way too big. That's not what you're about to do. You about to buy your clothes that's gonna fit you and
right.
make you feel comfortable. Better yet, make you feel good about yourself.
Right. I mean, like I said, I get it. In this day and age, like, things are they're just a little different. But I'm trying to navigate through this the proper way, because like I said, I have respect for the church. I grew up in church, but I guess I'll say in the traditional sense, there's a lot of things that you should and should not do, and there are a lot of rules that you should and should not. There are a lot of rules that you should abide by. But I mean, I just read something just like actually before the show started that said tradition is peer pressure from dead people.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
But I mean, I say all that to say that, that in this day and age, like, there are a lot of things that were not at one point in time that are now. Like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
Not even to go too far into detail. Like at one point in time, like wasn't I feel like it was kind of like taboo to be a preacher and like be gay, you know, or to be like a gay preacher in church or whatever. But like now that's starting to become a common thing. Not even saying that to throw shade at that, but I'm just saying that to say that like, you know, that how things have evolved in church. So like, you know, like sometimes, you know, things happen or whatever, especially, you know, if a woman is fully covered and, you know, being respectable. But if you curvy, like you can't help that.
You can't help that. But you still have people that's always gonna have something to say. But I have to come into grounds like people gonna say what the fuck they gonna say anyway, regardless if you're doing good or doing bad. Right. So I just actually I put this in my box because of the fact that I've came into encounterment with quite a bit of problems in the workplace where like I had jeans on. Like I've always had a job where I had to wear jeans and a polo, jeans and a t-shirt. And you know, jeans are fitted. You know, wear slacks. Okay, you still can't get around this butt back there, like in the hips and everything. So what is it that you want me to do? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I've been called like you have to wear something that's covered. I'm completely covered. What else is it that you want me to do? Are you gonna go give me some more money so I can go purchase 2 times like my size?
A dress or something like that, or you know, something that's,
and we're working with kids. I mean, kids gonna be kids. Like the young men, they gonna say, "Ooh, she got a fatty," or "Ooh, she not," or "Ooh, this, ooh, that." I mean, you can't get around it at all. So I think that's one of the reasons why I had it in my boxes, because I know some of the women that I used to work with more, you know, skinny, and they get to wear whatever they want to wear, and then when I wear it, it's a problem.
I mean, it's a really good point.
I feel like it should be fair across the board, and if I can't wear it, she can't wear it neither. You know what I mean? So.
Touche.
Some people may think it's petty, but you know, I think it's a legit issue that goes on in the workplace from my experience. So
I'm pretty sure you're not the only person that feels that way. To be truthfully honest with you, I'm almost sure you're not the only person that feels that way.
So shout out to all my curvy women and my skinny women. You know, it is what it is. But hey, dress for comfort. Do what you want to do. At the end of the day, like I said, that job is gonna be just another job. You have to switch jobs. I mean, at the end of the day, the clothes don't make you. The person in the clothes make you. You feel me? So that's that. That was a pretty easy topic. Maybe I should have had like a panel for the women. You think?
Oh, I mean, it wasn't. Not necessarily, it wasn't bad. I mean,
trouble, you know,
it's a very valid point. I mean, look, no. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's a very valid point. Like I've never looked at a situation like that before. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't necessarily think men have that issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we can pretty much just wear whatever, and you know, and that be that. You know, but women, you know, it's a little different.
Well, let's take it a step farther. I did have a coworker that could not wear everything that, you know, anything that he wanted to wear. He actually wore some jogging pants to work, and you know that print was showing, and the older women came to him like, you can't wear them. And at the same token, it's just like, why are you looking? You know what I mean? We're at the workplace. This was at work. You feel me? And he came to me. And like, we deal with kids at the end of the day. And like, again, the young ladies was like, ooh, he fine. You know what I mean? But ain't no way around it. But I guess like y'all have those issues too. Those slacks or those dress pants that's too tight. The print could be showing too. So it's just a matter of, you know, who's watching, who's not watching. Is it appropriate? Is it not appropriate?
For my fellas out there, I'll say this: if you gonna decide to wear some jogging pants or wear some like slacks or whatever, like, and it's supposed to be real, get you some suppression shorts. Like, but I understand some of y'all do it for the fame and do it for the, you know, I get that, and that's fine and dandy. But for those of you who really not trying to do that, get you some suppression shorts. They're at Walmart. You can purchase them there, and they hold everything together, and they still allow the flexibility, but they hold everything together. So like, boom. Problems out.
Oh, but let me say something. If they pack it, they pack it. They can't hide it. You feel me? They can't hide it if it's down their leg. if it's not, just like I can't hide my butt. I can't hide my butt. It's there. Go ahead, say what you're gonna say. You know, I always have a twist to these things.
No, because like it ain't. You know what? No, we good here. We good.
We Gucci?
Yeah, because it pertains to me, but never mind. We good here.
Oh, carry on. Wait a minute. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that, ladies?
It pertains to my own personal life. So anyway, carry on.
Well, real people, real life, real situations on 50 Shades of Jaye. What's
all day, every day.
You want to talk about it?
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, it's just something that just is. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like.
Okay, well, let's pick from a different box. In the meantime, in between time, we have the curvy women and the skinny women. Do your thing, you know, men. If you pack it in the front, you know, if you want your dick print to show, you do your thing. If not, if you can't help it, like I can't help, you know, that was just the topic, y'all.
I disagree. You can't help for the men. You can't help it. You can. Some of y'all don't want to. Like I say, you can't. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Oh.
What? I mean, like on some real, like I said, if you want to help it, you'll find a way. It's for the men. I'm speaking for the men. I'm not speaking for the women because, like I said, I'm not no woman, so I'm not gonna speak on that. But for the men, you can fix that. Like it's a simple fix. Like it's a real simple.
Y'all not finna tuck it though.
What do you mean when you
y'all
say?
Y'all not finna tuck it.
What do you mean when you say tuck it?
When I say tuck it, I mean putting your ding between your legs.
No, you strap it to your legs.
You strap it to your legs. There's too much. You gotta use some tape to strap your ding down.
No, all you do is now push it straight down and make sure it's in the cup. That's it. Right. Straight down.
Okay. Well, I don't wear briefs or boxers. So
yeah, I mean.
You have your boxer briefs.
Yeah. It's not with boxers. It's like with boxer briefs. Yeah, all you do is like just make sure it's sitting in the cup and you just push it straight down. Like push it straight down. And if you go on some suppression shorts, so like some suppression boxer briefs, then you good.
Okay, for all those that's just not tuning in, we're talking about curvy women at the workplace in attire, appropriate attire to wear at work, and for fellas, the appropriate attire to wear at work. And can you hide your dick print? And ladies, can you actually hide your hips and your curves? You can't. You gotta do what's best for you. And if there's ever an issue, I mean, shit.
Show the camel toe.
No, we not showing no camel toe, Kenny. I've seen a bunch of camel toes in my days, unfortunately. But hide those two. Put you a nice long blouse on. We don't need nobody getting aroused at work because they see your camel toe.
Oh my God.
Smoking.
So while you doing that, I'll share this quick story. Like I had an incident at the skating rink actually. Like I wore sweatpants one day and I did not have on the right underwear, and it was late. She kept looking at me and I could not figure out why. Getting ready to leave the rink. And the lady was like, "Baby, come here, let me talk to you for a minute."
I think you told me this one.
Oh, yeah, I told you.
No, but you can tell people. I don't think they heard.
She's like, "Baby, come here, let me talk to you." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She was like, "What kind of underwear you got on?" And I was kind of like, "What? That's a off the wall question." Like, no, it threw me for a loop. You know what I'm saying? She was like, "What kind of underwear you got?" And I'm like, what? Like, and I was kind of like, why are you asking? She was like, well, baby, the whole time you've been skating, I can see your print. She was like, what you got on? Like, I don't need you to wear those no more. She was like, you don't need to wear those no more. And I was like, you mean to tell me? And I was like, so you mean to tell me you've been watching me this whole time and you waited till? And she was like, don't worry about all that. Go home. Have a good night. Yeah, she gonna rub me off in the past of me trying to ask a question. She's like, you're asking too many questions now. I gave you the information. Go home. Have a good night. So. Yeah.
Somebody, mama/grandma was just watching.
She was watching the whole time, and waited till I left, in order to be like, and so on and so forth. So like you all over there, eggs dropping and shit, and then whenever I'm getting ready to leave, now you want to be like, oh hey.
My dude can't wear no sweatpants out of public or no hoop shorts to end that one. So moving along, me and my friends actually had a conversation in our group chat, and she said a little meme or whatever. It said if more men would stand up and be men, then more women would sit down and be submissive. So, Trouble, what do you think about that statement? I mean, you can take that in any direction that you would like to take it.
And I hate the fact that you gave me gave me the keys to the Jeep on this one.
Right.
Let me still remain tactful with this.
Take it the way you want to.
And tactful, I think is the proper way.
Cool beans.
I agree with that in shades of gray. If more men would step up, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But just as well,
Well, let me stop you there. As when you say, of course, I'm going to interrupt. When you say stand, more men that would stand up. What does that actually look like? What does standing up actually mean?
And so as
you was
I was
gonna go in there?
saying,
Okay,
so as I was saying,
just wanted to make sure.
as I was saying, in that particular context, with the way that society, I feel like with the way that society has evolved now, because us as men, we're cognizant, or we pay attention to, and I feel like we're much more aware as to, like, men not being in households and the things that go on with men, especially like in our community. We're a lot more cognizant, or at least, like I said, I feel like we are. But anyway, not speaking on anybody else, but speaking on myself. I think, if I was to have a daughter, I would definitely be like, hey, look, I'm going to, show you all these things, just, so I will probably be kind of programmed that way too, because of all the things that I've seen where men are not in the household. I would probably be like, if I had a daughter, hey, look, I'm gonna show you how to do all these things that way. If a man is not around, or if I'm not around, by chance, you know how to do this yourself.
Do what?
Like whatever, like if you need to know how to change your tire or something, like put air in your tires or something like that. So like I don't want you to have to do that, but if you have to, like, then like, hey, let me show you how this is done, just in case that, like, if there's not a man around, because no guarantee,
right?
Especially with everything, like I said, with everything that's going on in society at this current moment in time. So anyway, not to get too heavy into that, as I was saying. So I can understand in that particular sense, but just as well, you do have men that are in place, and I feel like in some situations women don't know how to relinquish control, because that's all that they've known. So it's like the lines with that whole situation, I feel like, can be blurred, or you might not even know where to draw the line in the sand. Yeah. And of course I could go on and on about this, but enough about all of that. Like, what do you think about all of that?
Well, actually, I really agree with you as far as actually the men standing up. They have to stand up. And my response to my friend was, I totally agree, because men are supposed to lead. Men are supposed to be lead. And then in the Bible is God, man, wife, and then it's the kids, in that order. Is it not that order?
Carry on.
No, I'm asking.
No.
It's God, man, the wife, and then the children. The men are supposed to lead. The man is supposed to lead the family to the church, like all that. Like that's how I feel. If it's not in the Bible, that's how I truly feel. And I said also, they supposed to be the head of the household. With that being said, if you want your woman to be submissive, you have to do manly stuff, like you said. Change the tire, check the tire pressure, change the oil, take out the trash, be the provider. But like you said earlier, to the previous question, like, things are definitely changing. And roles are definitely changing. But for me, I feel like a man has to step up, because I've actually been in a role. I've tried to be in a role where I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit back and let the man lead. I'm going to sit back and see where he's going to take me. And it wasn't in the right direction at all. So I had to reevaluate some things, like, oh, no, this is not what I'm about to do. I know where I'm trying to take myself, and you're not taking me that way neither. So this not going to work out, because I've been always the type to kind of like take control to a certain extent, or actually lead, like, but I'm like getting more into, like, wanting the men to run the household. So I'm like, let me take a step back, because I know I'm a very independent woman, so I can do everything. But to allow a man to do it, make him feel like he's the man, and I want my man to feel like he's the man. So with that being said, once he leads and do all the man things that I want him to do, or that he feel that he need to do, then I'll take my seat.
Okay, I like that last part of what you said, the things that he feels like he needs to do, because I think in this day and age, I think the definition of a man is very, very, like, widespread. Like,
absolutely.
I think if you would have probably put like 10 men in a room and asked them what the definition of a man was, probably maybe like 2 out of 10 would probably have the same definition.
Yeah.
Just the way that things are, like, just the way that things have evolved now, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't have a father in the home, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in that particular sense, like, you kind of have to figure it out on your own. And how do you duplicate something that you've never seen? You know what I'm saying? So, in that whole realm of things. But go ahead.
Right. And I absolutely agree with you as far as them not having a male role model or a father figure in their life. But guess what? There was television. There was an uncle. There was a mentor. There was a teacher. There was some guy that had some type of qualities or things that you could have learned from them. Growing up, because I had my grandpa. My actual father wasn't around, but I had my grandpa. But I also had a mentor that was over center, like an after school program, whatever. And he showed me a lot of things too, as far as like what a man should do as well, you know. So, because my grandpa was old school, God rest his soul, he was old school. So I had to learn from, again, that mentor. Although he may not thought he was teaching me anything, I learned a lot from him. And I feel like some young men, they get off on the wrong path because they don't have the father figure. Although I'm kind of going into a different direction, but I feel like they can pick up some qualities of a good man, good traits in different men in their lives.
I can co-sign with that. I think in this particular situation, though, I would have to say, like, as far as like, you know, the dynamics of a man, it's definitely something that requires a hands-on approach. I don't really think that like television is really like sufficient in this particular case. I really do think that, like, you know, anytime that, you know, you're dealing with like, you know, trying to show a man, you know, or, you know, trying to, how do I want to put this in the context? I think anytime that you're trying to give a young man an idea as to, I guess, his own path as what a man should be, like, that requires a hands-on approach, not necessarily like, oh, like watch TV and you duplicate this or whatever, you know. I just don't think that that's sufficient. But anyway, to get back to where we started with this, independent women, you know, I can appreciate an independent woman, but just where, you know, like I said, I think
that was this one right here.
Right. That's where we started. Yeah, independent women, like, it also kind of depends on the communication, but like, not even to get into that, but like, you know, like trying to figure out where to draw the line in the sand, you know, between like what, like, you know, whatever your definition of whatever is versus, you know, however this person may view the world or how they respond to the world.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like, it's a lot that goes into it or whatever. But I mean, just as well, like, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't, and I don't think that it always is complicated. I think some of the things are very, very simple, as to, you know, if a man steps up and shows some sort of initiative. Like, I mean, like, I think, like, you know, people have these preconceived notions about, like, you know, how they think like certain things should go, and everything doesn't always go that
Absolutely.
way. You know,
they in this fantasy world thinking like let me take it even a step further. You know, Instagram, these relationship goals, these this and that and the third. They looking at other people's like Lauren Loveland and Nipsey Hussle or Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade. No, you don't know what they had to do to get to where they needed to be. You know what I mean? We always, that's social media as a whole anyway. You know what I mean? So just like, you want this, but are you really gonna put in that work? You feel me?
Right.
Like, cause I'm gonna put in that work, but I'm not gonna put in that work by myself.
Right.
And going back to the initial topic, as far as women being more submissive, I feel like the men have to step up, and they have to their role is to protect and provide and give us a sense of security, not only financially, but a sense of security of our heart and our emotions as well. You feel me? You feel me?
I'm with it.
Yeah, so I just feel like that's a part of them stepping up too, is knowing that he got me. You know what I mean? That he got me and I got him. You know,
and with that, I think it's definitely ideal in the sense of you got to make sure that you have someone who speaks that same language. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, is like I said, I get it. I get the whole thing about, you know, the initial statement about, you know.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Kenny, we can hear you unraveling the. Just open the popsicle already, Kenny. Oh. They ain't even offering us no popsicle.
I trust me. I don't even want one on air. Like,
If I go to work on that popsicle.
Right. I don't got time for nobody to be like, you know what, God, no, they like really. No, what you not finna do?
Right. Okay. They got them open now. I guess we can get back to the show.
Right. But so, you know, like I said, like, it's the
y'all good. I'm just messing with y'all.
It's the whole pull and push. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think it's both people's responsibility, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just kind of like what I said earlier, you got to find somebody who speaks the same language as you do.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress, because that particular topic can go like all sorts of kinds of ways.
But we're going to stay on this topic though, because I feel like it's a very deep topic, and I feel like because women, so you have some women that feel like, I'm not about to be submissive. What is submissive? Like, so what do you think submissive is, like, as far as a woman go? Like, if you had your woman, like, what would be some submissive traits that you want your woman to have?
Shucks, that's a really good question. I think if I had to honestly answer that question, I think for me it's one of those situations to where like if things get disrespectful, or if it, like I think for me it's kind of like the basics, and even you probably ask like what are the basics. Like I'll get out, pump the gas, I'll take out the trash and stuff like that. But like if there's a situation where there's disrespect that has occurred or whatever, let me take care of that. You sit back and you chill.
Paint this picture. Give us an actual scenario. You know me.
It's just any kind of disrespect or whatever. Like if someone was to call you out of your name or something other. So if somebody was to call if there was another man that was to call my woman out of her name or something other sort or whatever. I was like coming on too strong or whatever in the situation, like, let me take care of that. You chill, like, let me take care of that, and so on and so forth. And like, if there's a situation to where, it requires some heavy lifting, let me do that. Like,
I got a scenario for you. Did you see? No. Well, actually, not a scenario. It was a video on Facebook or Instagram. DL Hughley actually put it on his Instagram. This lady, the police came into their home, and it was the guy and the woman was actually taking charge. And when the man went to say something, I don't know if it was our actual boyfriend or not, but she was like, "Shut up, mother." She said, "Shut up." Yeah, she said, "Motherfucker, I got it." Like in front of the police, in front of everybody. So I don't know if that. Let's just say it was her husband or whatever or her boyfriend. Like I feel like that was not her being submissive. That was not him leading. That was not him being the man of the house. Like I feel like she were the draws in that relationship. If that was her husband, hypothetically speaking. So in that situation, is that where the disrespect? That's where you would say, "Okay, baby, I got this." That's you being
right. I would be like, "Yeah, I got this." But but even if it's coming from her, like, and there's a situation to where like it's between me and my significant other, like, I'm like, "Hey, look, like you can say how you feel, but at the end of the day, what you're not gonna do is like you're not gonna degrade me in the process of you speaking your mind or whatever. Because at the end of the day, like like we not here to tear each other down. So like let's handle this the proper way, like, because that's not it, and if you want to like disturb the beehive, then that's exactly like the proper way to do it. So like, like we don't like, no, we're not doing that.
Okay, I can dig it. So basically, you want her to just, "Hey, baby, I got it," and you take care of the situation at hand. If somebody wants to disrespect her, you feel like she shouldn't have to get out of her character anyway. Man, we bigger than that. You know what I mean? This don't even involve our energy. We gonna walk away, because your lady, maybe she, have an attitude or a hot head at some point in time. Like, chill. You get it. Okay.
I got a question.
I didn't buzz you in. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's really for trouble because I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? But say for instance, I dated women that had kids.
Well,
so when it comes to that woman and her baby daddy, I don't get involved. What if it's a situation where, and you just kind of stay in your lane, right? Because she should be able to handle that, unless it becomes physical. But if it's just verbal, right?
Right.
So if she decides, or he decides that he has a problem with you being there, but he's confronting her about you, kind of in a hostile way. Would you feel it's necessary to intervene?
Yeah, if he's got a problem with me being there, like, I feel like we need to talk or something of the sort. And I understand.
So you don't think that she should handle that regardless?
Well, like how, like that's a blurry line, man.
It is.
Well, you kind of came into
that is a very blurry line.
Right. You kind of came into the situation. You wasn't aware. It wasn't your fault. He got a problem with you. You ain't got a problem with him. But because they got kids, he's acting a certain way towards her. You know what I'm saying? But he's mentioning you the whole time. You just happen to be present.
It sounds like to me he was looking for a reaction. But if
he's probably looking for a reaction, yeah. So my question is, what would you do?
I mean, like, it's a blurred line. Usually, like, I think I would take the same route. I usually try to stay out of stuff like that. But I mean, like, if it's a blurred line, man. Like, honestly, I really don't even know what I would do in that situation. I think that's one of those situations you say one thing and then whenever the situation actually happens,
it's
like,
something different.
Yeah, something.
You
different.
actually have to be put in that situation.
Yeah.
But just to piggyback off what Kenny said, if it was a guy and he was his baby mama and she constantly saying me, like, but the roles are different because that's the man and that's what he's supposed to do. I wouldn't get involved with that at all. I don't care how many names she called me because that was y'all situation that y'all had was before me and it's going to continue to be that situation. Don't involve me into anything unless I have a say so and unless I was involved in it. You feel me? And that's up to that guy to put his foot down. I refuse to be put in the middle of y'all situation at all. Drama free. So that's just how I am. Boom. Well, pin drop. Boom. No. But yeah, going back to the question as far as men stepping up and being and letting their women be more submissive, but we have to have something to be submissive to. And with that being said, like you said earlier, there's men and little boys. Let's just put it that way. A lot of little boys want to be men. And you need to really step up to be this man. And you constantly saying that you are a man, but you're not showing man qualities. Man qualities meaning standing firmly behind your word, because your word is your bond. That's one thing I feel like is a great trait for a man to have. When you say you're gonna do something, you come through. If you don't come through, you slightly of a man to me. If you don't stick to your word. And that's just how I am, you know what I mean? And if I'm doing something and you say you're gonna do it, do that. Like I need the trash taken out. If anything going wrong with my car, that's something I want you to do. Although, my grandpa helped me to a lot of things too, but as a woman, I feel like that's some of the things that you should do. So, and again, money-wise, we talked about the whole 50-50 last show. I truly don't believe that it should be 50-50, because at the end of the day, a man is supposed to protect and provide, and providing means working. And like Kenny stated last show, that the woman is going to take care of the groceries and everything else. And honestly, the groceries.
No, I said that she will take care of everything else. Health.
Yeah. I said everything else.
Oh,
yeah.
I said groceries.
Well,
I think that was a scenario.
Oh well, I honestly I don't feel like a man should be in a grocery store shopping, and I feel like I will go grocery shopping. Well, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Y'all have other things y'all could be working about. I feel like that's on the bottom of the list. That's on the bottom of the list. I mean, you can give me the money and I'll go grocery. Teamwork. You give me the money, I go grocery shopping. When I get home with the groceries, you help me put the groceries. You take the groceries out of my car and take it up to the house, and I put them away. No? I don't know. But anyway.
Like I said, this thing could go. I'm just.
Yeah, but no, I'm just stating some of the things that I feel like men should step up and do in order for their woman to be submissive. So.
Okay. And I mean, I think that's it at the bottom of the line. Like, it's whatever your standards are. Like, I mean, it's whatever your personalized standards are.
Okay, I have this kind of off topic, maybe.
Okay. What?
It is not a personal question towards you. Okay, say for example you're married, and your wife, he's single, ready to mingle, single like a Pringle, single like a dollar. Okay, my bad. Say like for example you're married and your wife got her hair cut. And came home, like her hair was super long, and she kind of cut it off in the bob, and she came out like, "Baby, you like my new hair?" Like, would that be an issue for you? Because I know a lot of men say, my woman can't cut her hair, and if she cut her hair, I have to approve on how short she's gonna cut her hair.
So
take it away.
Before me and my significant other were ever, hypothetically, before me and my significant other were ever married, she was her own person.
Hello.
And there might be situations where I'm not present. You still have to be your own person.
Hello.
I mean, my preference is long hair or whatever, or, like natural or whatever. But like, I mean, whatever you decide to do, like stuff like that, like that's minor. To me, like that's minor.
But you have some men that you not cutting your hair.
I get
You're not inking up your body no more.
I get it.
You're not getting, if we ain't got no tattoos before we get married, you're not getting a tattoo.
Only if you're married.
So.
Only time he has to say so is if you're married.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, like the hair thing, that's like that's minor. That's minor. I think I've gotten to a place to where like looks and everything is fine or whatever. Looks serves its purpose, but I'm to a place to where I'm more about your character, more about the heart and the spirit of an individual now.
As long as they not wild, and as long as she ain't come out with pink and green and orange hair and be like, "Hey, babe, look what I did to my hair. It's rainbow bright, right?"
Right. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like I mean, you know, part of that is true. Like you know, whenever you do have a significant other and you are married, like y'all do kind of represent each other, but you know, more so you represent yourself at all times. You know, like so, I mean, you know,
I just never understood that. It's one of them situations. I guess when you get in that situation, then you actually have to like, I guess, weigh out the pros and cons of it or whatever. Because I'm like you. I feel like I'm my own person. Even when I get married, I'm still like my own person. I have a mind of my own. Like if I want to cut my hair, I'm going to cut my hair. If I'm going to dye my hair, I'm going to dye my hair. If I'm going to get a tattoo, I'm going to get a tattoo. And I don't feel like I should be like, hey babe, can I cut my hair off? Like I'm asking permission like I'm your child. Like if anything, I'm telling you, hey babe, I'm going to the beauty salon. Like I got an appointment to cut my hair off. Like, but I know like the old traditional ways, like you have to consult with your husband and basically say, you know,
it's a new day and age, folks. New time.
But I know somebody still to this day that actually had to go through. Well, they didn't have to go through it, but that's how their marriage is.
Well,
that's how their marriage is.
You know, and if that works for them, then you know, hey.
I was just trying to get like another person's perspective and make sure maybe I'm just being what's that word?
Host.
Huh?
Host.
No, Kenny. Like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, devil's advocate. That's what you're talking about.
No, I can't even think of the word right now, yo.
But I mean, like you know.
But yeah.
I don't.
Insubordinate.
Like, I guess. Rebellious.
Rebellious.
Are you trying to be rebellious? I mean.
Yeah.
Do you, boo boo? That's.
Do you, boo boo?
Do you?
Okay, well, for everybody that's tuning in right now, we actually was just talking about if more men would stand up, will more women actually sit down and be submissive? That was the topic that we're talking about. And what we came up with is, you know, we actually had like a lot to say. I can't really summarize all of it. But basically, men taking on the roles of protecting, providing, and a sense of security. That's what I said. And
Right.
Trouble, what did you say?
No, it's like I said. There are so many different variables that apply to that particular topic. It's just, I think the most important thing to take away from it is that you got to find somebody who speak your same language in the sense of like, you know, what they feel is submissive and what they feel is not submissive and so on and so forth and all that.
Maybe I should have pulled up the definition for submissive.
I mean, it's not too late. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's
Well,
not
okay,
too late.
keep talking.
But I mean, you know, it's a lot of variables that are at play, and you just gotta figure out, like, you know, you gotta find somebody who speaks the same language as you do, and you know, whenever you find out, I think like y'all to kind of get into your own groove or whatever. Not even so much that y'all to be able to communicate like what it is that you feel like, you know, is appropriate and what's inappropriate, and as well as like, hey, look, I want you to take the rein. You know, I want you to take lead on this versus, you know, like there's a situation to where, you know, like, hey, you do terrible at this, but like, let's work on that, you know, and so on and so forth. I think it, like, you know, patience is definitely needed and necessary. Patience and communication, not even just communication.
Absolutely.
Comprehension.
Yeah. Communication, comprehension, understanding, and your approach. Your approach is everything.
The approach is everything.
I don't know why it's taking me so long to look this up.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's my nails, y'all. It'll be okay.
But okay. But anyway, so.
Thank you, Trevor. You're awesome.
Oh my goodness. You found the definition?
Oh, okay. Someone who no.
Come on.
Submission is about submission is about voluntary grace and being of a help to a man who will protect you, guide you, cherish you, and be the lead in the relationship. It is the ultimate meeting of the masculine and the feminine. Feminine.
Feminine.
Is that referred to a woman?
Well, I put a woman being submissive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I put into Google. So that's what Google said.
Wow.
A man who is simply dominant will submission is about voluntary grace and being help to a man who will protect you, guide you, cherish you, and be the lead in the relationship. See, Google said it. You gotta lead. Y'all gotta lead, fellas.
Don't listen.
But don't lead your lady down the wrong path.
Exactly.
Please don't.
It's an exchange, and
it is.
Yeah,
It's a two-way street. Like,
specify.
yeah.
Yeah, you can lead into dark clouds, or you can lead into some sunlight. One of the two. So I mean, but anyway.
Okay. Well, that was that. So we're gonna spice it up a little bit.
Oh, go ahead. Help yourself.
No, pick one, please. Gracias. In the meantime, between time, I want to give y'all some date tips. That's probably inexpensive. You guys can go hiking. Come on.
Go ahead.
You can actually, I want you to pick while I'm talking.
And I will. Go ahead, carry on.
Okay, men. But anyway, yeah, you can go hiking. That's very inexpensive. Or Trinity Park over there in Fort Worth. If you guys have bikes, you can go down there and ride bikes. They have a huge bike trail. It's super, super duper fun. You can always take a walk in the park. What else can you guys do? Oh, do like a Netflix and chill, but also make it a picnic and put like picnic, have food in the living room, a blanket, just for ideas. If you like low on money, your paycheck ain't come or whatever the case may be, just think outside the box. So what did he get? Because he just slid it over here to me. I don't want to talk about that. Pick something else. So in between time, I want to go hiking. I heard Texas has this nice hiking trip that leads to a waterfall. So I'm going to get from my coworker where actually it is. And I'm going to tell you guys next show.
110 degrees outside.
It's okay, but you can go in the morning time and pack a lot of water, Kenny. See, Kenny is a party pooper. Like, come on now, Kenny. Think outside the box. Although it's hot as shit here, I mean, you can do other stuff. This one says, being connected spiritually. Take it away, Trouble.
You take it away. You got to give us a synopsis or something. Like, what do you mean by that? These are your topics. This is your show.
Did I write
the
this
work.
down?
Yeah.
This don't look like my handwriting.
Get the work. Get the work.
Being connected spiritually, meaning my take on it is meaning that that you guys have some type of religion, that you practice some type of religion, but they're more so your beliefs and values could be connected to that as well as what else? Help me out.
Hey, this was your topic.
Trouble, you're my co-host.
And I understand that, but you've been putting me to work. Like, these are your topics.
That's
like,
not supposed to do.
Whoa. But anyway, as I said, this is your topic. So
That's all I have, though. That's all I have.
So I mean, like,
I didn't grow up in church. I was the only one that went to church out of I'm still probably the only one in my immediate family that goes to church. So I made myself go to church. Like my mentor that I was talking to you about, like he's now a preacher, and without him, I would never been into church. So everything I learned is by myself, and I experienced alone. So spiritually, with that meaning, like I would want somebody to be able to pray for me. I want somebody to be able to go to church with me. We're connected on that level spiritually as well, knowing that God is our umbrella over our relationship, meaning that He is the head of it. Like like that goes back to what I just said earlier too, as far as it being God, man, wife, and children.
Okay. So I guess with that, are you asking me like
what is your take on this?
It makes perfect sense. I agree with that. Like I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Like I agree wholeheartedly. Like you got to have someone who has like again speaks the same or a similar definition, as you do pertaining to whatever it is, and then in the spiritual sense, I definitely agree. Like you gotta believe in God and so on. You gotta believe in God, and not even so much that it's also about the character of an individual, and like because like. It can even be about how y'all raise your kids. If y'all don't have the same ideas as like to how y'all want to raise your kids, that can be considered unevenly yoked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That the way that y'all pay bills, if one of y'all, decides to pay bills early versus one person pay bills like the actual due date, that can be a cause for y'all to for it to be considered unevenly yoked in the spiritual sense if we're talking about that. So I mean, like I said, I think it's definitely ideal to make sure that you have someone who speaks the same definitions or speaks the same language as you do, as far as like the definitions, because like you can go ask several people what love means to them, and you'll get like several different definitions, and probably none of them will be what's actually in the dictionary. So
right.
So I can see exactly where you're coming from, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. So yeah.
Okay. I don't like you don't have to be like all into like Jesus praying every single day. I mean, that's not, because I know everybody doesn't pray every day. Like I pray every day, but like some people, like I'm not gonna speak this fantasy thing. I be realistic about things, So if we're dating, I'm not expecting to do something that I wouldn't do. How about that? Like praying every single day, getting down on your knees, or going to church every day, whatever the case may be. No, Kenny, I'm gonna throw some at you. No, I'm not gonna throw nothing at you. I take that back.
Whoa.
I take that.
I'm not taking over this show. I'm not doing
Please
it.
do, please do. I'm not gonna throw. I
I'm not taking
apologize.
over this show.
All right.
I'm not doing it.
But yeah, so that's basically that's how I take it. Kenny, would you like to add on that as far as being spiritually like what does that mean to you? Being connected spiritually.
I mean, you know, I'm not a church person.
Okay.
So,
but you got a relationship with God, or
I believe I do.
Your higher power.
It might not be as good as it needs to be, but I have a connection.
That's all that matters.
I think I'm moved by it in a lot of ways, especially some of the hard decisions I have to make. I can't rely on my own instinct and experience to help me through that. But as far as the woman, you know, my thing is, I think that if she has a good heart, she's moved by some type of spirit.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't have to be based on any religious thing. Just be a good person with a good heart. Go back what Trouble said. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Thank
you for sharing. Yeah. I actually agree with you guys. You have the big heart, you know, you come from a good place, you mean well, you know what I mean? So that's always good too. So now, Trouble, I'm putting you back to work. So with that being said, we have a few minutes left, probably like 10 minutes left. So you get to pick one last topic from the box.
So next show, I'm not picking.
If I ask you to pick, you're going to pick?
I'm not doing it.
Why?
I'm not doing it.
Why, Felicia?
I'm not doing it.
Why?
I'm not doing it.
I should make you read them too. Read this one right now. Don't make me call you by your real name, your government name. No, I'm just saying. Could you read it?
No.
You just don't want to do anything today.
What do you mean?
Catch me outside after the show at 3:00.
It's
3:00.
It's gonna be 9:00.
Well, 9:00.
It's gonna be around
Catch
about
me
9.
outside.
Catch you outside. It's gonna be around about 9:00. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
I'm punching him in his stoke. His stoke.
Spell it.
No, Medea could spell it. Anyways, so the one that he just picked was cheating. Boom. Cheating. What is cheating?
It's a very, very relative term nowadays. Everybody has a different meaning as to what cheating is. But if you're asking me personally what cheating is,
you're right here.
Cheating to me is, I think it's one of those things to where
we might have to do a part 2 of this on the cool.
I mean, hey, it's your show. It's your show. You lead, I follow. Cheating to me, I think, is you know, whenever you like having to start hiding your phone, you know, because you know you get inappropriate text messages or you entertaining somebody. It ain't even necessarily about the act of like really just like being intimate with someone. I think for me, like I said, I think cheating is like whenever like, you know, you might be with me and you thinking about somebody else or something of the sort of, you know, something of the sort of, whether even if like y'all haven't even had sex or y'all ain't even kissed, but if you like with me and you thinking about somebody else or like, you know, like I said, hiding your phone and so on and so forth. I kind of consider that cheating.
I think that's cheating too, especially the whole you thinking about somebody while you with me. That's a form of cheating. People don't. Well, I didn't actually do that. Well, you thinking about it.
Right.
You may not have done it yet, but it's still there in the mental. And before you know it, you can act on all these emotions. You can act on whatever you got going on in your head. Yes, Kenny, that is a real thing.
Well,
that is.
Is this Minority Report where you can predict it the crime before it happens?
Well, what's the saying? What did you say one time before? Everything that exists now was an idea. Didn't you say something like that before?
Well, I said only thing new is the history we don't know.
Okay,
Totally different.
I could have sworn you said that one time before that like that everything that exists now was originally
I think
like
that was
a thought.
Unseen said.
No. I think that was
sure?
you.
Well, that's a good point, though.
But anyway,
it's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
It is a good point, and I had that conversation with somebody else actually, and I think that like if you're thinking about it, like you know, although we're not psychic, I'm not a psychic, I'm not Cleo, so I don't know if technically are you thinking about it or not, but you know personally if you're thinking about it, and if you are thinking about it, it's a sign of cheating.
So it's cheating if you're thinking about it?
Because it's your idea, you're going to eventually act on that what's going on in your head.
So it's cheating if you're thinking about it? Really? You believe that?
I honestly I do. Why don't you believe that?
I think what Kenny's trying to get to, like, there's a difference in between the thought and like consistently thinking about it. I'm talking about if you like consistently thinking about it like often.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, there's a reason why somebody's constantly thinking about somebody else if they're in a relationship with somebody else. So there's something going on within the relationship itself.
And
right?
and with that being the case, like you know, if that does come up, like a conversation needs to be had.
I definitely need to be a conversation. You're right.
There's a conversation that needs to be had instead of like keeping it to yourself. You know,
because if you keep it to yourself, then you're gonna act upon it.
But Jay, let me ask you something. If a man just thinking about it, and he never told you he was thinking about it, how would you know?
And he act on it?
No, he didn't act. You saying he had to act on it too?
No. But I'm just going off what he said as far as being consistent. You consistently thinking about this person.
But am I saying how would you know?
We don't know.
Right.
But as that's a personal thing. It's
Okay.
like I don't think he understands. You get my drift.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's hard. I guess it's kind of hard.
That's kind of more intuitively.
So you
Speaking.
suspect this person is thinking about something?
No. There's certain things you can just feel.
Okay.
Lady Peanut.
It was on another show actually, and I heard it from somebody else too. It's like I'm not crazy. I
Lady P
promise
said
y'all.
it. She said it whenever she drove straight to the house, pulled up at the apartment door.
Yeah.
Intuitively, she knew. Intuitively.
But that was an act. The person was actually cheating.
But she felt it too.
But you asking about in the sense like how do you? It sounded like you were asking like how do you know if someone else?
Yeah,
is,
because
like,
I thought
thinking about
that. I mean,
someone
if a
else?
person actually did it, that's something. If a person just thinking of somebody else, I don't know how that would be cheating based on Jay what you said. If it's just a thought, it's not an act.
That's my own personal opinion. Like I said, I think I think or I'm talking about for my own self. Like if
Right.
like I feel like for me.
So you feel guilty inside.
Yeah,
but you're thinking about somebody else.
if I'm
that
with
makes
an
sense.
individual and I'm thinking about somebody else
Gotcha.
or whatever, then like
That makes
you said,
sense.
like conversation
Yeah,
needs to
That's
be
what I was
had.
trying to
Okay.
say.
You know, like
yeah.
conversation needs to be had, and not even so much that like I'm like
Right.
I'm not doing something. I'm
Right.
wrong. I know that I'm wrong.
I got you.
Yeah, that's
I
what
got
I
you.
meant.
Yeah.
I got you.
If
Okay.
I confused anybody, I apologize.
No, it's okay. I was confused like hell, but it doesn't matter.
Kenny.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Mute your mic. But yeah, so he kind of yeah. So on the lines of that, going back to the actual topic itself, cheating. Cheating is anything that's not involving the person that you're in a relationship
Is
with.
that is that like your definition?
Meaning, well, my definition of cheating would be you're interacting with someone inappropriately that you wouldn't want your significant other to do themselves if you were not around.
Mm.
That's my definition of cheating.
Okay. What?
You can turn your mic back on, Kenny.
Thank you.
You-
Okay. That makes sense. But
Oh, it's always
if I was to get a little anal retentive
No,
about
you
this
can't.
thing,
Advocate.
so I mean, I get it. But if a person's doing something inappropriately with someone else, that means the two people decided these things would be inappropriate. If you did this with somebody else, then you're cheating.
basically like the double standard thing. If Rashad did something that he know that he wouldn't want me to do,
Right.
he shouldn't do it. Period. Point blank.
Well, what if it's changing the tire? You don't want you changing something in
Kenny,
the tire. I'm just saying.
we're talking about cheating. We're talking about flirting. We're talking about hiding a text message in your phone. We're talking about giving somebody a wink or rubbing on somebody's booty at the club.
So if I sent you a text message, right? Because you communicate with me because you're having problems uploading something on YouTube, right?
Okay.
And then all of a sudden that text message, and you said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that, but thank you anyway," right?
Okay.
To this guy.
Okay.
Now this guy had his phone laying around his house,
Okay.
and his current person read the text message, totally misconstrued it. Like, why are you reaching out to this person? I thought that person was over. Why are you asking this person to come over your house? Is that cheating, or is that just planning to cheat?
Neither. I don't think you're
Oh.
planning to cheat because if it's strictly,
It's a real situation, but I have to explain it to
Okay,
you.
I was
If
like,
it's
what the fuck is this?
I think I may know what
You
type
know
of
exactly
thing-
what it is, but-
Unfortunately, that you just gave me some
Fire.
information that I did not know about. But anyway, so with that being said, if it's strictly just business, it's just strictly business. If you're just getting information on something that you need help with, that's what it is. You know what I mean? And if that conversation go left and he like, oh, come over, let's chill, let's grab a drink, then that's a different story. Then as the person I am, knowing that I have a man, I would shut that conversation down. Like if I were to entertain it and keep going on, where are we going? What time you want to meet up? Oh, what we gonna drink? Oh, what
I would
that's
show
gonna
my
be?
significant
Then
other.
that's
I'd
a
be like,
different
look at this.
story. Exactly, and that's the type of person I am. I will actually show my significant other those text. We may even talk about your ass on the cool. We gonna talk about you. We gonna laugh about you and everything. But guess what? My significant other knows. So if you come with some bullshit and say some, oh well, your girl tried to hit on me, like your name such and such. Oh, she already showed me them text messages, bro. You too late. Oh,
She's so aggressive.
like no, like for real though. Like I would shut it down. Like any form of entertaining or even thinking or flirting. That's cheating for me. Don't entertain nobody. Don't be all giggly and hee hee ha ha in the next person's face. But we're actually going to
That's the
continue this.
I said that's the cue.
Yeah, he definitely gave me the cue because. Huh?
Wanna go some more time?
No, we're gonna actually continue this next time. So with that being said, our next show is next week. Everybody, they're going to do some remodeling here at the station, so we will be closed. So